I got a job at an ice cream parlor. The rules are strange. I went to a local strip mall with a few friends and noticed a help wanted sign in an ice cream parlor window. I walked inside and met a nice lady named Tina. She was a short, thin, older lady with very blonde hair. I asked her for an application, and she handed it to me with a huge smile on her face. "We're looking for a new store manager right now," Tina said excitedly. I looked at the application and smiled back. "Thanks, Tina. I'll fill this out for you right now," I said. She handed me a pen, and I sat down in the nearest booth. I skimmed through the application and started to fill it out. The application itself seemed completely normal except for one question. The last question on the application said, "Do you mind working alone?" I answered no and walked back up to Tina. "Here you go. All filled out," I said, smiling. She grabbed the application and looked it over. She put it into a file folder and looked at me with another eerie grin. She reached out her hand to shake mine and said, "Young man, you're hired," she exclaimed happily. "You don't need to do a background check or anything?" I asked. "Nah, I trust ya, darling," she said, still smiling. Something about her seemed off. She was super nice, but it was like she was forcing her smile. I couldn't tell if she was happy I was going to start working or if she was about to have some sort of mental fit. I reached out and shook her hand firmly. She squeezed my hand and shook it vigorously. "Thank you so much," she said. "No, Tina, thank you for giving me a chance to." I started. Just before I could finish, a man walked in from the back. Tina turned around to welcome him. He was dressed in a suit and was probably in his 60s. He was tall and quite pale, almost like a zombie. I waited there, staring at them from the counter. Tina pointed over at me, and the man looked my way and smiled. He walked over to me and introduced himself. "Hello, Sammy. My name is Mr. Andes. Very nice to meet you. I'm your new boss," he said in a low, deep voice. He reached out with a wrinkly, pale hand. His veins and tendons were visible through the top of his skin. His fingernails were long, sharp, and dark. The man's eyes were almost as gray as his short hair. When I grabbed his hand, it was cold to the touch. A wave of anxiety shot through my body like I'd just been shocked. "Tina tells me you're our new hire. She just put up the flyer, so you must be quite the lucky person," he said through his creepy smile. If I didn't know who this man was and had just seen him on the street, you couldn't convince me he wasn't a vampire or something that drank human blood. I had no choice, though. My 18th birthday was months away, and I needed a way to make money fast. So I took a deep breath, pushed through the anxiety, and explained to Mr. Andes how happy I was to be their new employee. "Can you start tomorrow night?" he asked. "Absolutely," I said with slight hesitation. He handed me a business card and asked if I'd like a free cone, which I declined since I had just eaten dinner. "I insist you try the product you'll be selling, Sammy boy," he said, handing me a perfectly curled cone of chocolate ice cream with white chocolate flakes on top. I wasn't sure what was weirder, the fact that I hadn't seen him even look away from me to make the cone, or the fact that he was handing me my favorite ice cream with my favorite toppings. I took the cone from him in bewilderment. I decided not to question it. Even though alarms were going off in my head, I took a chance. I licked the cone, and immediately the anxiety disappeared. It was like nostalgia in a cone. I was 10 again. "Wow, Mr. Andes, this ice cream is honestly some of the best I've ever had," I said between licks. "Many people come through this shop and tell me the same thing," he said. "That feeling you have right now, young man, that's love and care. That recipe has been in my family for generations," he added proudly. "Well, Mr. Andes, I'm glad I'll be able to represent your business," I said. I walked outside and met my friends. I told them I got the job.